Hello and welcome. My name is Jolene MacFadden. I am a published author of 2 books so far. The first one is The Insider's Guide to Campground Hosting in Florida Parks. The second one is about the top 10 free ways to market your book. The first one I wrote and published about a year and a half after I started work camping in Florida state parks. We had been traveling, my mother and I, in an old RV full time around the different state parks in Florida, just enjoying ourselves. And then we ran out of money. And the easiest way to not have to pay camping fees is to volunteer, because most state parks that have campgrounds or a volunteer village of some sort will allow you to stay anywhere from 2 to 4 months in exchange for 20 hours or a little bit more a week for your service. And then the rest of the time is up to you. You do with as you will. I have been trying to get more people to volunteer during the summer months because, in Florida, especially natives, we can take the heat a lot more than some of the snowbirds, however you want to call them, who come down every winter for the 4 to 6 months. And they usually take all the good work camping spots. But natives who work during the summer and get a good reputation will also receive preferential assignments in the winter months. If you're a little bit more flexible, you can probably fill in for some of the ones who had to beg out at the last minute. And it makes it fun, interesting. You just never know. You could be cleaning toilets or picking up trash, empty trash cans, riding the trails on the 4-wheel drive gators, sitting in the ranger station in the front, cleaning cabins, helping the biologists do bird counts, and opening and closing gates. We've done painting, we've built cabinets and shelves, and we've helped with festivals, and we even got dressed up in old-timey costumes and taught several different old Florida crafts to children's groups. My book is available on an ebook and paperback. I am trying to get it put in, I'm updating it now because it is first published in 2014. Most of the information, 95% of the information inside the book is still current, except for probably the contact person. Alrighty. We are currently located at Manatee Springs State Park, and I'm going to read you the quick information that we have about the park for those who's wanting to volunteer. Right now, we are currently filming in Hickory Campground, which is closed because they are renovating the bathroom over there, and hopefully putting in a better hot water system. Because last time we stayed here was several years ago, but there was absolutely no hot water, and the bathrooms were teeny tiny. The showers felt more like cells. So I am going to read to you the information that I have. Now, the volunteer coordinator, of course, has changed since I wrote the book. So I'm taking all those informations out. I will have the park information and main phone number and the current website information. So all you have to do is just call, and they will give you the updated information. Okay, Manatee Springs State Park is in District 2. Number of campground hosts, when I wrote the book, was 3. Right now, there will be 4 in the Magnolia campgrounds, which is 2 sides now. The Hickory campground, once it opens, will also have 2. So that's a total of 6 campground hosts. They have 7 park host sites, and I took pictures of the volunteer village, and I'll include those in a post on my website if you're interested. But generally speaking, those people work on the trails, the primitive campgrounds, cleaning those up once the groups have left, and works at the ranger station. And
then, of course, if you are mechanically inclined, you get preferential treatment, and you get to stay next to the shop. The shop looked very nice. I didn't take a picture of that, but that's generally where they house all their equipment. And so if you're mechanically inclined, carpentry inclined, something like that, you can pretty much get a spot anywhere. Hickory may not have sewer hookups. You'll have to ask about that. They do have a dump station on the way out of the park. But the Magnolia campground host sites, each of those had water, electric, and sewer. They're rigged for 30 amps. So if you need more than 30, you'll have to do a step down. The basic length limit, except for probably in the village, is 40 feet. They do have a laundry, which is very nice. They provide firewood and ice probably in the shop. They require 20 hours a week, like most state parks, and you can stay anywhere from 2 to 4 months. Yeah, and of course they need help every late spring to early fall.
The second book, Top 10 Ways to Market Your Book for Free. This came about when I was a guest speaker at the beginning of COVID, our first digital conference. They asked me beforehand, I was supposed to do a regular meeting, to talk about the ways you can advertise yourself as a writer and your books that you don't have to pay for. And so I came up 10, at least 10, I know of off the top of my head. So I created the presentation, I gave it, and I recorded it and uploaded it to YouTube for a little while. And then I said, well, what the heck, I might as well write a book. And it has all that information, plus a little bit more. And it gives you space to write your own tips down if you have some information or some ideas of your own. They're well known, but they're just not done. Most self-published authors have a lot to do. They're trying to wear too many hats. But if you can at least do these 10 things, especially North Florida writers, because one of the tips is about free advertisement from me. And I have a website for that called the North Florida Writers Tour.com, where I write a featured article for any North Florida writer that is published and is willing to record a 30-second video answering one of the interview questions and then typing up your response to the other 5. So I would be glad to feature you. That's one of the ways that you can get your name out there, is to ask other bloggers to feature you, to write articles about other writers, kind of an exchange sort of thing. Give honest reviews about your reading. And for me, the tour is strictly informational and fun. I put the 30-second to 1-minute videos on my YouTube channel, and I share it on the article. And then, of course, the links are there so that you can share it with your social media. One of my biggest pet peeves, though, is, and one of the top 10 things that I talk about, is filling out your author profile, especially on Amazon. You're given a free Author Central page to connect all of your books, your blog, to add videos to post to once a month, and every time you publish your book, you add it to your Author Central. You put a nice professional photograph of yourself on there. Or I know some authors are writing under pen names, and they've created a persona, an avatar, even an avatar, so long as it's your avatar that you paid for and you put on your website and your Facebook page, and it represents you, fine, use that one. I don't care. But at least fill it out, the biography, something fun about yourself, so that your readers can get to know you as a writer just a little bit better. That's the first thing that I look for when I go find a book that I want to read. I check out the author's profile page. And if they have a website, I always go over and look and maybe read a little bit. If they have a blog, I try to read some articles. And after I read any book, I always try to put a review on Google, Goodreads. That is another great place. It's a free service. It's all about writers and readers. You go in, you spend a little time. Yeah, it takes time to do it, but you fill in your profile, you attach your blog if you have one, you link all your social media pages and all of your books. You go in and you write reviews of other writers. Honest reviews, are always nice. Cut downs or not. If you don't have anything good to say, don't say anything. But if you have some helpful suggestions that the writer might be able to incorporate in the next book, go ahead. As long as you're honest and upright and trying to help somebody out. Because not everything is going to be up to your liking. And I usually say that. I preface that. I say I'm not really into horror books, but if somebody sends me a book or asks me to read their book for them, I will. And I'll give them an honest review based on, characterization, plot lines. I may not like what's there, but that's my thing. And I'll say so up front. But if I have any helpful suggestions, if it's written well, if it's a good story, if it moves along, those kinds of things is what the readers are trying to find out so they can buy better books or enjoy. So not only are you writing reviews for other people, but hopefully once people start seeing your reviews, they'll start buying your books. And they're all linked. Goodreads does all that for you. They link all the titles to the different selling pages. So you'll eventually make a little bit of money from that. And one more tip, I'm running out of time, real quick. I encourage all authors to have their own website. And, that costs money. But you can get some free ones and still, there's a couple of places in the book that I tell you can still get free books, free websites, free hosting. And it takes a little time to do it, but I encourage people to get their own website if they can. Get a free one if not. You need a place that belongs to you as a writer, not necessarily as the person, but as a writer. Or if you just want to write one series, then have a website about a series and then share it on your social media. So when you have a website, you connect it to your Facebook page. And I've run out of time, sorry. Please buy my book. They're on Barnes & Noble, iTunes, Amazon, and you can find me on Goodreads, BookBub. I have my own website, jolensbooksandmore.com. Thank you. Have a good time.